As a young comic, shit, I was only 5 years in at that point. I was only 5 because I started when I was 19. And I've never seen anything like that before.
Let's go back to another old school guy, Patrice O'Neal.
That was my favorite dude.
So you said about Patrice, or this was something Patrice said to you. You said that Patrice O'Neal is the only dude in New York that gave you advice that made you the comic you are today.
Absolutely.
What was that advice, and how did that change the way you did things?
Shout out to Cypher Sounds for introducing me to him. At Comics on 14th and 9th, Old Comedy Club, that's not there no more. Patrice was headlining, and I watched him be great. I watched him get a standing ovation as he sat down. He sat down.
He sitting down during the set?
Yeah, sat down during the show, the whole show. He sat down. He didn't sit up. He sat down in a big leather jacket, and he proceeded to do what we know now as Elephant in the Room, but before it dropped. So he's working on the material. Killing. And it's a hot 97 crowd, so it's rowdy. So all these rowdy motherfuckers died down to listen to what he was saying and then went back up because they loved what he was saying. It was poetry that night. I just moved to the city. I was, 24 years old. Jaw drop.
So this was early 2000s?
Early 2000s.
Early mid-2000s, okay.
2009, 2010. Yeah. And
jazz poetry.
Yeah, it was poetry. Like, he was just up there being Patrice and killing. So Cypher introduced me to him. He told Patrice, I lived in Jersey City. At the time, I did live in Jersey City. So did Patrice. So Patrice said, oh, you live in Jersey City, little nigga? I'll give you a ride home. And so now I'm blown away. The guy that I just watched dragging a fucking room. And the dude I've seen on the Comedy Centrals, and I keep hearing in the streets, it's rummaging in the streets. He's arguably the best. He's arguably one of the best to ever do it. Just give me a ride home. So push comes to shove in the night. I asked for some advice, and I heard he was like the bully in the streets. Like, this was the meanest motherfucker on the planet. You can't talk to him. So am I going to listen to what all the doubters say, or am I going to just man up and go, hey, Patrice, this is what I did. Hey, man, I was scared of shit, too. You got any advice you can give to a dude? I'm just out here trying to get this, trying to get funny. I just moved from Philly. I moved from South Jersey, Philly. I was a comic in Philly, now I'm a comic. And he looked me dead in the face. He said, I'm done. I'm old. This comedy's for you. I quit. I hate comedy. That's what he said. He said,
I hate comedy.
He said, I hate comedy. What do you stand up? He's like, this little Cypher Sound shit that y'all do, this for y'all. The don't get gas, this shit for y'all. So if I had to say anything, I guess write prolific shit, get on stage. And he did this movie, went, get the fuck out of my car. Like, why the fuck? Get the fuck out the car. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I got out the car, and then he rolled the window down. He was like, I'll see you around the block, little nigga. And then he spun off, and he went up JFK. And it was just so direct. I didn't feel hurt by it. I wasn't offended that he kicked me out the car. I just was like, I guess that's what the fuck it is, because one of the greatest dudes ever just told me what the fuck it is. I could see if he was bombing. Nah, I watched the dude sit down for 20, 30 minutes and then have a whole crowd stand up for him as he sat down. So I'm going to listen to what he's saying. So I guess get on stage, write prolific shit, and keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Keep getting on places. Keep doing what I just told you. I guess that's the formula. And the formula worked out.
Yeah, to just fucking grab the mic and sit down on stage, it seems like that would be a downer for the energy in the room. But there's like a don't give a fuck energy from it where the crowd's like you don't even have to, be like, hear ye, everyone pay attention. If someone grabs a mic and just sits on a bench and is waiting for people to fucking, tune in, I'm about to say some shit.
He made no noise. He grabbed the mic, sat down. The crowd was going nuts because I think somebody killed before him, right? Somebody went up, murdered, right? So he just sat there, took the mic, and went. And then everybody, and then he murdered him. It was just, and as a young comic, shit, I was only 5 years in at that point. I was only 5 because I started when I was 19. So 24. So I was 5, and I've never seen anything like that before, other than Chris Rock specials and Dave Chappelle specials. Yeah. But in real fucking time, the 5 years I had been doing comedy. I saw so many people kill, but not like that though. I seen people kill standing up. This dude walked there and just sat down, and then proceeded to rock sitting down. What? In a black room. It was a rowdy urban, like it wasn't like, no, this was real deal. This was a show. This is like Coliseum show. Wild. Circle, theater set, half moon type shit.
And he just fucking took a seat.
And he took him. And he took him with him.
You have to have the aura about you too to do that, or you can't take a seat. People are just gonna be like, they'll look over and be like, all right, and now I'm back to fucking drinking and talking to these people. But you have to be giving off something. And I never saw Patrice in person, but like I could just see from the clips that I've seen from Elephant in the Room. One of my favorite clips of all time is when he did the Charlie Sheen roast.
Oh yeah.
And he says, I wrote jokes on the plane, and he just fucking puts the paper down and just looks at people and tells them exactly what's on his mind. Like Steve-O, William Shatner, and to me,
he told Shatner he was a quasi-racist.
Yeah.
That threw me off. I didn't know Captain Kirk, he's a quasi-racist, man.
Yeah.
I lost.
Yeah. And as a big fan of comedy, that taught me that just being authentic can be hilarious. And there's some people that just say things that are on their mind, and it's hilarious to other people. Like they're comics that, whatever you want to do, as long as you're funny, to me it doesn't matter. But I feel like there's some comics where they find a formula and then they learn how to be funny, and they write jokes and they play around with it. And then there's some people that they just, whatever it is, they have a way of saying things that omits hilarity. Like it just, like it's so normal to him, but it's so just absurdly funny to other people. And him just like reading a grocery list and just being like, why the fuck are turkey legs on here? So, like him just like observing things. Yeah.
Patrice was great.
Yeah.
And, he was definitely my number one dude when I came out to New York. Like he'll always be one of the guys that made me go, all right,